Welcome back to a new episode. Today we're talking about Insomniac's new title and one of the PS4's biggest exclusive games of the year, Spider-Man. Over the years there have been a lot of Spider-Man games spanning across multiple consoles that have all varied greatly in quality. Some have been hailed as fairly good, such as 2002's Spider-Man 2, but the vast majority have been flawed or really only succeeded in one or two areas, usually messing up either the web slinging, combat or story. With 2018's new title in the hands of the same team that created the fantastic original Spyro trilogy and Ratchet & Clank series, it looks like fans might finally get the full package that they've been waiting for so long. The most notable aspect of this new title is that it isn't tied to any previous Spider-Man material, and this is more important than it might initially seem, as it gives Insomniac complete freedom to create the game they want with their own unique take on the series. This iteration of Peter Parker is a 23-year-old college graduate, slightly older than we often initially see him. He's also been Spider-Man for almost a decade, ultimately meaning we're in the shoes of an inexperienced hero that's completely settled into the role from the beginning. Not to mention we'd have to go through the process of seeing him become Spider-Man, a story I'm sure we're all very familiar with by now. Although we don't know too much else about the overarching plot, we do know many of the characters and villains that will be featured. These include Kingpin and Mr. Negative, who were both shown off at E3 of 2017, Scorpion, Rhino, Vulture, Shocker and Electro, who were all mostly revealed during E3 of this year, and finally with the latest story trailer we also got a glimpse of Silver Sable and Norman Osborn. Aside from those we've seen in pre-release footage, we do know that Taskmaster and Black Cat will also make an appearance. Considering there will likely be even more within the final game we are not aware of yet, that's already quite a large list, and it's great to see Insomniac giving lesser known villains like Mr. Negative the chance to shine, not to mention delivering some awesome redesigns for all the characters across the board. When it comes to the gameplay, you have the whole of New York City to explore from the outset, and it was the team's goal to make sure traversing the city was as fluid as it can be, whether you're on your feet or web slinging through the air. When you are on the ground, Spider-Man will use a lot of parkour similar to that of Watch Dogs 2 to traverse over small objects such as walls or benches in order to keep the momentum going, and this is an aspect they've really incorporated into the web slinging, which is completely physics based. When Spider-Man propels through the air, he'll constantly be using his surroundings to keep moving, so when you come into contact with, say, the side of a building, you can either push off of it or continue by bounding up it, rather than coming to a jarring sudden stop. There's a lot of contextual moments like this that make the whole system feel incredibly smooth, and is one that is apparently very intuitive to use. In terms of the combat, it actually reminds me a lot of the Batman Arkham series, but with a lot more acrobatics involved, and that is certainly not a bad thing at all. You'll have at your disposal a mix of melee and web-based attacks, which are encouraged to combo together in various ways to take on groups of enemies. In addition, you'll also make use of the environment and gadgets to aid you, from using objects to knock enemies unconscious to placing a tripwire on a wall that will pull and wrap up unsuspecting foes. There's quite a few gadgets within the game with plenty of different uses, something that Insomniac are very used to implementing into their titles, as that was at the core of their last series, Ratchet & Clank. Lastly, not all encounters you face need to be dealt with head on, and there will be times you can tackle situations stealthily where you can use all the aforementioned abilities to dispatch enemies before they even know you are there. Not all your time will be spent as Spidey, however. There will be specific situations you'll get to play as both regular Peter Parker and Mary Jane. Although we have no direct footage of these sections, we do know they'll offer interesting and different gameplay to Spidey himself, ranging from various puzzles to unique stealth elements. The main outfit you'll wear is the new advanced suit that you've seen in all the gameplay and trailers to date, but there will be around 25 to unlock that each come with their own special move, some completely original and some from existing comics or movies. So far we've seen a glimpse of some of them, with 3 of them being unlocked right from the start if you pre-order. These are Spider-Punk, Iron Spider and a brand new suit called Velocity. Interestingly, once you unlock a particular suit, you can use that suit's special move with any other, which is a nice touch. Spider-Man comes out exclusively for the PS4 on September 7th. It does have Pro and HDR support, and just like Ratchet & Clank, uses a technique called temporal injection to produce an image that looks close to a native 4K. Slightly disappointing, but not really all that surprising, is that the game does run at a locked 30 FPS on both the base PS4 and Pro, so don't expect a higher frame rate if you're a Pro owner. Spider-Man has been hyped ever since its 2016 announcement, and for good reason, but will it live up to it? I'm confident it can. Feedback from people who've had time with the game has been great, and Insomniac have a great track record for making fantastic titles. Let me know down in the comments which aspect you are most looking forward to. Is it the fluid web slinging, the Arkham-like combat, the brand new story, or maybe it's the incredible visuals? That's it for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like, subscribe and hit that bell icon to receive notifications when future videos are posted. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.